The planet Varelia was quiet that day, but its silence was the kind that made people uneasy. The sky glowed with a pale green light, filtered through thick clouds of toxic gas. Liam adjusted his pilot suit and checked the controls of his small reconnaissance ship. He had flown many missions across dangerous planets, but something about Varelia felt different. The readings on his sensors showed signs of life, but they were faint and scattered. Liam's job was simple in words, but dangerous in practice. Scout the area, gather intelligence about enemy movements, and report back. The enemy faction, known as the Quran Raiders, had been terrorizing nearby colonies for months. Their attacks were sudden and brutal, leaving settlements destroyed. The Federation had sent few patrols here, assuming the planet was not of strategic importance. Liam knew better. As he flew low over a jagged mountain range, his sensors picked up movement. Small structures appeared below, glowing faintly in the green light. He squinted through the cockpit glass and froze. The structures looked like homes, but in chaos. Smoke rose from one corner and tiny explosions dotted the settlement. Liam's heart raced. The settlement was under attack. Civilians were fleeing, their strange alien forms clumsy and panicked. He could see the attackers now. Quran Raiders hovered above in armored ships, firing energy bolts that tore through buildings. Liam cursed under his breath. He could not simply report this. People or beings were in danger, and he had the chance to help. He adjusted the ship's thrusters and moved closer, keeping low behind the mountain peaks. From this angle, he saw her, a lone figure among the chaos, struggling to lift debris to free someone trapped underneath. She was unlike any human Liam had seen. Her skin shimmered with a soft silver-blue hue, and her eyes glowed faintly with gold light. She moved with a combination of grace and urgency, as if every motion was both deliberate and desperate. "Commander Liam, are you engaging?" came the calm voice of his ship's AI. "I have to help," Liam replied firmly. "She won't make it alone." The AI hesitated. "This is highly dangerous. You risk being destroyed." "I know," Liam said, jaw tight. "Do it anyway." He took a deep breath and adjusted his targeting system. The Quran Raiders had not noticed him yet. Their attention was focused entirely on the settlement, firing without thought. Liam used the ship's automated defense system to fire precise plasma shots, disabling a few enemy ships without harming anyone below. Sparks flew from the enemy vessels and a few crashed into the mountains, creating small explosions that rocked the area. The alien woman glanced up for the briefest moment. Her golden eyes meeting his through the sky, Liam felt a strange connection in that instant. It was not just pity or duty. It was recognition, a silent understanding that he was here to save her. She ducked behind a toppled wall, but she had drawn attention. One of the enemy ships began moving directly toward her, its weapons locking on. "Hang on," Liam muttered. He flipped the ship and dove toward the settlement. The engines roared as he navigated between debris and falling buildings. His heart pounded. Every second counted. The alien woman moved again, this time running toward a narrow canyon. Liam followed, weaving through fire and smoke. He fired at an enemy ship that tried to block her path. The blast hit the engine of the raider ship, sending it spinning out of control. Finally, Liam landed his ship near the canyon entrance, just ahead of her path. The ship's ramp lowered, and the airlock hissed. She paused, looking at him with wide eyes. Liam raised his hand. "Come on, quickly!" She hesitated for a moment, then ran toward him. Liam helped her into the ship. She was surprisingly light, though strong, and her hands gripped his arm in a way that showed both fear and trust. He closed the ramp just as a raider ship fired at the canyon entrance, missing by inches. "Are you okay?" Liam asked, checking her for injuries. She nodded, speaking in a language he did not understand. Her words were melodic, almost musical, but urgent. Liam activated the ship's universal translator. The device hummed and converted her words into basic English. "Thank you," she said. "I am Nira. They must not follow me. I have something they want." Liam frowned. "What is it?" She shook her head, her expression tense. "Not now. Only leave. Help me survive first." He respected that. "We'll get you to safety first. Then we can figure it out." Liam adjusted the ship's thrusters and lifted off. Behind them, the settlement continued to burn. Buildings collapsed, and the screams of the injured carried on the wind. He felt a pang of guilt, but he had saved at least one life. As they flew over jagged mountains and through clouds of toxic gas, Liam and Nira began to communicate more. She pointed to various controls in the ship, learning quickly. Liam realized she was intelligent, capable, and brave. She did not cower in the face of danger. She acted with determination even when overwhelmed. Hours passed as they navigated asteroid fields and dodged patrols. The Quran raiders were relentless, sending ships to track them. Liam used every trick he knew, stealth maneuvers, sensor jammers, and decoys to keep them from being discovered. Nira watched him carefully, her golden eyes sharp and observant. "You are skilled," she said finally, her voice calm despite the danger. "I have not seen humans act like this." Liam smiled faintly. "We can be useful when we have to. Some of us, at least." She tilted her head. "You risk your life for others, even strangers." "That is rare," he shrugged. "I do what I can. No one should have to fight alone." A small smile appeared on her face. For a moment, the tension in the ship lifted. Liam felt a strange warmth at the sight. Despite the chaos around them, a connection was forming. It was unspoken but real. Suddenly, the ship shook violently. Liam looked at the sensors. A raider squadron had found them. Missiles streaked toward the ship. Liam gritted his teeth and pulled evasive maneuvers, dodging with skill. Nira instinctively held onto the control panel, steadying herself. "We need a plan," Liam muttered. "We cannot outrun them forever." Nira placed a hand on his arm, a gesture of trust and reassurance. "I can help," she said in English, surprising him. "I know their technology." "I can guide you." Liam raised an eyebrow. "You can?" She nodded. "If we work together, we can escape. But we must act fast." For the first time, Liam felt a surge of hope. It was not just about survival anymore. They had a chance to fight back, to win, to live. Using Nira's guidance, Liam plotted a course through a dense asteroid belt. The raiders followed, but the narrow passages and unpredictable movements of the asteroids forced them to slow down. Liam and Nira worked in sync, his piloting and her knowledge complementing each other perfectly. As they emerged from the asteroid belt, the raiders were behind, struggling to regain control. Liam looked at Nira. "We made it. For now," she smiled softly. "For now. But they will not give up easily." Liam nodded. He did not doubt it. But he also knew something had changed. He was no longer alone in this fight. Nira had survived, and they had found a bond forged in fire and danger. The ship's engines hummed as they flew toward a distant, uncharted planet. Liam glanced at Nira, her golden eyes reflecting the pale light of the stars. He knew that saving her was only the beginning. Something bigger was coming, something that would change both their lives forever. And for the first time in a long while, Liam felt a sense of purpose beyond duty. He had rescued a life, yes, but he had also found a reason to fight. For her, for the future, and for the small spark of hope that now burned between them. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, but Liam did not feel small. He felt ready to face whatever challenges awaited, ready to protect Nira no matter the cost, ready to become more than a lone pilot, ready to become a hero in a story that was just beginning. And somewhere deep inside, he knew this was only the first step toward something extraordinary. The uncharted planet loomed ahead, a swirl of orange clouds and rocky surfaces that promised shelter but also uncertainty. Liam guided the ship carefully, scanning for suitable landing zones. Nira sat beside him, her sharp golden eyes studying the instruments with intense focus. "We cannot land too close to the surface," Liam said. "The raiders could track us even here. We need somewhere hidden." Nira nodded. "I know of a place, a cave system that is difficult to detect from space. I can guide you, but it is dangerous to enter at high speed." Liam adjusted the controls, lowering the ship's speed. He trusted Nira. Her knowledge of this planet, unfamiliar to him, was vital. The ship glided closer to the surface, dodging jagged cliffs and thick clouds of orange dust. Every second felt tense, every shadow potentially hiding danger. As they approached the cave entrance, the sensors detected a faint energy signature. Liam frowned. "What is that?" Nira's hand hovered over the control panel. "I am not sure. It is not a raider ship, but it is something alive. Perhaps another life form." Liam tightened his grip on the controls. "We will find out soon enough. Keep ready." They entered the cave cautiously. The sensors struggled to read the interior, and the ship's lights cut through thick darkness. The walls were jagged, covered in strange crystalline formations that glowed faintly. The crystals reflected the ship's light, creating a rainbow of colors that danced across the walls. "This is incredible," Liam muttered. He had seen many strange planets, but this place felt alive. The crystals hummed faintly, almost as if resonating with the energy around them. Nira glanced at him. "This place is safe for now. Raiders cannot track us here, and few creatures dare enter these caves. But we must move quickly. They will follow if they detect us again." The ship landed on a flat ledge inside the cave. Liam cut the engines and silence fell. The only sound was the soft hum of the crystals and the occasional drip of water from the ceiling. He exhaled, feeling the tension in his shoulders ease slightly. "You are good at this," Nira said. "Not just piloting, but surviving. Few humans would have managed it." Liam shrugged. "I have had to learn. Being alive is a skill." She smiled faintly, a rare moment of warmth. "It is more than that. You care for others. That is what makes you different." He looked at her, noticing how delicate yet strong she seemed. Her face was streaked with dust and sweat, but her eyes remained sharp and aware. He felt an unfamiliar protectiveness, a desire to keep her safe no matter what. "Rest for now," he said. "We will need strength for what comes next." Nira nodded, settling into a corner of the ship. Liam watched her for a moment, then activated the ship's communication systems to check for radar signals. There was nothing nearby. They were temporarily safe, but he knew it would not last. Hours passed. Liam and Nira shared minimal conversation, mostly simple words and gestures. Nira had learned some basic human language, and Liam tried to understand the few words she spoke. It was slow, but progress was being made. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped. Liam's heart skipped a beat. Energy signatures, small ships, raiders. Nira's eyes widened. "They have found us. We must leave now." Liam gritted his teeth. He had hoped for more time, but the enemy was relentless. "We cannot outrun them forever. We need a plan to escape." Nira leaned over the controls, pointing to several readings. "They follow patterns. They rely on their sensors. If we can create a diversion, we can lose them. I know of an old system, ancient technology that can block their tracking temporarily." Liam's curiosity piqued. "Show me." She guided him to a control panel deep in the ship. Liam adjusted the systems as she instructed. After a few tense minutes, a pulse of energy emitted from the ship, masking its signature and confusing the raiders' sensors. "They will not see us for a few minutes," Nira said. "We must act fast." Liam nodded. He engaged the thrusters, moving the ship quickly through a narrow canyon that twisted and turned like a serpent. Rocks scraped against the hull, but he managed to navigate the obstacles with skill. Nira directed him to paths he would never have considered, her knowledge of the planet unmatched. Behind them, the raider ships struggled to regain their sensors. Explosions and crashes echoed faintly in the distance. Liam felt a surge of relief. For now, they had the advantage. Hours turned into a tense flight across the planet's surface. They passed through strange forests with towering plants that glowed in the dim light, over rivers that reflected the orange sky, and through abandoned cities of an ancient civilization. Nira explained little, but her gestures and expressions conveyed history, culture, and warnings. Liam listened, fascinated. Finally, they reached a hidden valley, surrounded by cliffs and dense foliage. Nira's voice was urgent, but soft. "This place. We can rest here. Raiders cannot enter easily. It is hidden and protected." Liam landed carefully on a flat meadow within the valley. The ship's engines powered down, and the quiet of the valley enveloped them. Birds with translucent wings flitted between the trees, and small streams wound through the grass. Liam felt a rare peace, a moment of calm in the midst of chaos. "This is beautiful," he said quietly, more to himself than to Nira. She smiled, a genuine expression of relief. "It is safe, for now." They spent the night in the ship, sharing stories in broken language and gestures. Liam learned that Nira's people had once been scholars and explorers, but the raiders had driven them into hiding. Nira had survived alone, carrying secrets that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Liam did not fully understand yet, but he knew protecting her was vital. The next morning, Liam awoke to find Nira outside, watching the valley. The sunrise cast a golden light across the rocks and streams, and he realized how fragile and beautiful life could be, even in a universe filled with war. "We cannot stay here long," Nira said without turning. "They will search further. We must be ready to move." Liam nodded. "Then we plan. We find a way to end their pursuit. We do not run forever." Nira looked at him, her expression serious. "It will not be easy. Their base is strong, they are many, but if we strike carefully, we can stop them. You must trust me as I trust you." Liam felt a weight in his chest, but also determination. "I trust you. We do this together." They spent the next hours preparing. Nira taught Liam about the raiders' weaknesses, their communication methods, and the patterns in their patrols. Liam adapted his ship's systems based on her advice, creating traps and diversions. Together, they devised a bold plan that relied on both human ingenuity and alien knowledge. As night fell, they stood together at the edge of the valley, looking up at the stars. Liam felt a strange mix of fear and hope. The enemy was powerful, relentless, and dangerous, but he was not alone. Nira was beside him, intelligent, brave, and capable. Together, they had a chance. "We must be ready to fight," Liam said softly. Nira nodded. "And survive. Always survive." The wind whispered through the valley, carrying the scent of alien flowers and the faint hum of distant rivers. For the first time, Liam felt that survival was not enough. They could fight, they could win, and maybe they could create something more. A future beyond the endless chase, beyond fear, beyond war. As they returned to the ship, ready for the next phase of their journey, Liam knew that the bond between them had deepened. It was no longer just about saving a life. It was about trust, courage, and the possibility of hope in a galaxy that seemed so often filled with darkness. And as they prepared to face the raiders once more, Liam felt a spark of determination that burned brighter than any fear. He would not fail. Not now. Not ever. The escape had only just begun, but Liam and Nira were ready to face whatever lay ahead, side by side, bound by courage and a growing understanding that together, they could overcome anything. The valley was quiet under the pale light of the twin moons. Liam and Nira had spent days preparing for what lay ahead. Each day they studied maps, scanned the enemy base from orbit, and refined their plan. Liam's hands were steady, but his mind raced. He had never faced an enemy so organized and relentless, yet he felt no fear when Nira was beside him. Together they were more than just survivors, they were a team. "We must strike carefully," Nira said, her golden eyes focused on the holographic map projected in the ship. "Their base is heavily guarded with energy shields and multiple patrols. If we attack directly, we will not succeed." Liam studied the display. The enemy base was massive, built into the side of a mountain on a barren planet. Raiders' ships patrolled the skies constantly, and automated turrets scanned the landing zones. "Then we need a distraction," he said. "Something big enough to draw their attention away from the main entrance." Nira nodded. "I have an idea. The base uses energy cores that power their shields. If we disable the cores simultaneously, the shields will drop. Then you can strike at their command center. But it will be dangerous. We cannot survive if they detect us early." Liam exhaled slowly. "Then we do it together. I trust you." For hours they went over the plan. Nira explained the layout of the base in detail, including patrol routes, shield generator locations, and weak points. Liam memorized everything. They also prepared explosives, hacking tools, and improvised weapons. Every detail mattered. Every second counted. Finally, the night of the mission arrived. Liam piloted the ship through a narrow canyon, approaching the enemy planet under the cover of darkness. Nira guided him expertly, warning of sudden cliffs and radar detection zones. Their hearts beat fast, but neither spoke of fear. They were focused. As they neared the base, Liam activated the ship's cloaking system, making them nearly invisible to sensors. The automated turrets swept the skies, but they passed unnoticed. Nira monitored the systems, whispering instructions to him in a language that was a mix of alien and broken human words. "This way," she said, pointing to a small canyon that led behind the base. "We can land here safely. Few patrols see it." The ship descended carefully and landed on a rocky ledge. Liam cut the engines and silence fell. They stepped out, moving quickly but cautiously across the rough terrain. The base loomed above them, a fortress of metal and energy shields that glowed faintly in the moonlight. "You stay here," Nira said, crouching behind a boulder. "I will go first to disable the shield generator. Then signal you." Liam shook his head. "We do this together." "No one goes alone." Nira studied him, then smiled faintly. "Very well, together." They moved through shadows, using the terrain to stay hidden. Guards patrolled the perimeter, their armor glinting under the moonlight. Liam used a silenced blaster to disable a turret quietly, while Nira manipulated the environment to create small distractions. Their coordination was seamless. Finally, they reached the first energy core. Nira began hacking the system while Liam kept watch. Sparks flew as circuits overloaded. The core hummed and glowed brighter for a moment, then went dark. Nira signaled Liam with a nod. "Good," she whispered. "One more to go." They moved to the second generator, deeper inside the base. The risk increased. Patrols were closer, sensors more sensitive. Liam's pulse quickened, but he remained calm. He focused on Nira, on their goal, on survival. As they worked on the second generator, an alarm suddenly blared. Liam cursed. "They saw us." Nira's eyes narrowed. "Not yet. But we have little time." The turrets activated, scanning the area. Liam fired at the nearest one while Nira finished the hack. Sparks flew and the generator went offline. The shields around the base flickered and died. "Shields are down," Nira said. "Now we move to the command center." They ran through the base's corridors, careful to avoid guards and security systems. The walls were cold metal, lined with wires and energy conduits. Liam could hear his own heartbeat echo in the silent halls. Every step brought them closer to danger and closer to victory. Finally, they reached the command center. Liam could see the enemy officers inside, issuing orders and coordinating their forces. The room was filled with glowing screens and holographic maps. Liam planted explosives along the walls and floors, setting timers. Nira worked quickly to overload the power system, creating a cascading effect that would ensure the base could not be reactivated quickly. Suddenly, a patrol burst through the door behind them. Liam and Nira fired simultaneously, disabling the guards. Nira moved with precise agility, while Liam used his training to cover their escape. The command center's alarms blared and the base began to shake from internal explosions. "We need to get out," Liam shouted. They ran through the corridors, dodging debris and sparks. The base was collapsing around them, the hum of energy cores mixing with the sounds of metal twisting and breaking. Liam's mind was sharp, every movement calculated. He helped Nira over fallen beams and avoided falling panels. Finally, they reached the ship, which Liam had parked in a secure hangar. The engines roared as he lifted off, narrowly escaping a collapsing section of the base. Behind them, the fortress exploded in a brilliant cascade of fire and energy. The sky lit up as the enemy base was destroyed completely. Liam and Nira watched in silence for a moment, catching their breath. They had done it. Against overwhelming odds, they had destroyed the enemy base and ensured that the raiders could not pursue them immediately. Nira turned to Liam, her eyes glowing faintly in the dim light of the ship. "We did it," she said softly. "We survived," Liam smiled faintly. Together. The flight back to the valley was tense but quiet. Neither spoke much, each lost in their thoughts. They had won, but the cost had been high. They had risked everything, and the memory of danger lingered in their minds. When they finally landed back in the hidden valley, Liam cut the engines. Nira stepped out first, breathing in the fresh air. The moonlight illuminated her face, showing fatigue but also determination. Liam joined her, feeling a deep sense of relief. They had survived the impossible. "You were incredible," Liam said. "I could not have done this without you." Nira shook her head. "And I could not have done it without you. We are stronger together." For a moment, silence settled between them. The stars reflected on the streams in the valley, and Liam felt a strange peace. Despite the dangers, despite the enemies waiting somewhere in the galaxy, they had achieved something extraordinary. Nira glanced at him, her expression serious. "This is only the beginning." The raiders are not finished. They will come again, stronger and faster. We must be ready, Liam nodded. Then we prepare. And we protect each other. No matter what, she smiled faintly. Agreed, always. As they walked together back to the ship, Liam realized something. It was no longer just about survival. It was about hope, about courage, about standing against impossible odds and choosing to fight for life, for others, and for a future that was worth protecting. The explosions of the enemy base had sent a clear message across the galaxy. Humans and their allies, no matter how small or underestimated, could stand against even the most powerful forces. Liam felt a surge of pride, not in himself alone, but in the bond they had forged. They returned to the hidden valley for rest, knowing that new challenges would come. The raiders would recover, but they had shown that intelligence, courage, and teamwork could overcome even the deadliest threats. As they sat together, sharing a quiet moment under the twin moons, Liam felt something he had not felt in a long time. Hope. Not just for survival, but for something greater. He did not know what the future held, but he knew he would face it with Nira by his side. The mission had been dangerous, terrifying, and exhausting. But it had also revealed a truth. When humans and aliens worked together, when trust and courage guided their actions, nothing was impossible. And as Liam watched Nira's golden eyes reflect the pale moonlight, he knew one more thing. They were not just allies. They were a team, and together they could face whatever the universe had in store. The hidden valley had become their sanctuary. After the destruction of the enemy base, Liam and Nira finally had a moment to breathe. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of alien flowers and minerals. Streams of clear water reflected the light of the twin moons, and the valley seemed untouched by war, a stark contrast to the destruction they had faced. Liam spent his days repairing the ship and setting up basic defenses around the landing area. He used his engineering skills to improve the ship's stealth systems and weapons, knowing that the raiders could return at any time. Even here in safety, vigilance was necessary. Nira, meanwhile, explored the valley. She examined the flora and fauna, mapping safe zones and discovering small sources of food and water. She taught Liam which plants were edible and which could be used for medicine. Her alien knowledge of the environment complemented his human skills perfectly. "You are good at surviving anywhere," Liam said one morning as they worked together to reinforce the ship's hull. Nira smiled faintly. "And you are good at thinking ahead. You plan, prepare, and adapt. Few humans have such patience." Liam laughed softly. "Patience comes with necessity. You survive longer if you think ahead." They shared small moments like this, simple conversations that built trust. Slowly, the tension of constant danger began to ease. Liam noticed that he looked forward to seeing Nira every day, hearing her voice, watching her movements. He had never felt this connection with anyone before. One evening, they sat on a rocky ledge overlooking the valley. The sky was painted in shades of orange and purple as the twin suns set. Nira watched the horizon silently, her golden eyes reflecting the last light. "You think we are safe here?" Liam asked quietly. "For now," Nira replied. "The raiders may regroup, but this place is hidden. Few know of it. We can prepare without being found." Liam nodded. "I like it here. Peaceful, quiet. Feels like we can finally breathe." Nira turned to him. "And yet I have not told you everything. What I carry, the information I protect, is important. It could change the balance of power in this sector. That is why the raiders want me. They will not stop until they get it." Liam reached out, touching her arm gently. "Then we protect it. And each other. No one will take you again." She studied him, her expression softening. "I believe you, Liam. I trust you. That is not easy for me." They shared a long silence, the weight of their past battles hanging between them, yet mingled with a new sense of hope. For the first time, they were not running. They were planning for the future. Days passed. Liam and Nira continued to strengthen their defenses, explore the valley, and gather supplies. Their bond grew stronger with each shared task. Liam learned more of Nira's culture, her people, and her experiences. Nira learned human ways, discovering patience, humor, and resilience she had not expected. One afternoon, as Liam repaired a damaged drone for scouting the perimeter, Nira approached him holding a small device. "This will help," she said. "It can detect raiders' movements beyond the valley. We can see them before they see us." Liam examined the device carefully. "Excellent. This will give us a big advantage if they return. They spent hours setting up sensors, monitoring the surrounding terrain and refining escape routes. Despite the work, there were moments of laughter. Nira discovered Liam's quiet humor and he learned to appreciate her subtle smiles. Each day they became more than allies. They were companions in every sense. One evening, while observing the stars, Nira spoke softly. "Liam, I feel something growing inside me. I'm not sure how, but I think life is beginning." Liam's eyes widened. "Life? Are you saying you are pregnant?" Nira nodded, her hand resting on her abdomen. "Yes, it is new, fragile. We must protect it." Liam felt a surge of emotion, a mixture of joy and determination. "We will protect it. You and our child. No one will harm you again." For the first time, Liam thought not just of survival or battle, but of family. The idea of raising a child with Nira, teaching them about courage, knowledge, and hope, filled him with a new sense of purpose. They spent the following weeks preparing for this new stage of life. Liam strengthened the valley's defenses further, creating hidden shelters and emergency supplies. Nira focused on her health, exploring local herbs and natural remedies that were safe for her condition. Together, they built a home, a small, cozy structure nestled near the streams, surrounded by the valley's natural beauty. One morning, as Liam worked on the ship, Nira called him. "Come see. I found something remarkable." He followed her to a nearby grove where the plants glowed faintly under the sunlight. Tiny creatures, translucent and delicate, moved among the flowers. Nira knelt smiling. "Life persists even in harsh places. We will teach our child to respect it, to understand it." Liam crouched beside her, watching the creatures move. "We have a lot to teach them," he said softly. "Courage, curiosity, hope, the strength to survive and to protect others." Nira reached for his hand. "And they will learn from both of us. Our strengths, our wisdom, our care." That night they sat outside their small home, the stars shining brilliantly above. Liam glanced at Nira, who rested her head on his shoulder. The child growing inside her was a symbol of everything they had fought for: survival, trust, and a future beyond war. "I never thought I could feel like this," Liam admitted. "Peace, hope, a family. After all we've been through, I thought life would only be danger and loss." Nira turned to him, her eyes glowing softly. "Life can surprise us. Sometimes the greatest victories are not battles won, but the lives we protect and the bonds we create." Liam nodded. "Then we fight for more than survival. We fight for this, for our future." The following days were peaceful but purposeful. Liam taught Nira human skills, from cooking simple meals to using basic tools. Nira shared alien knowledge, teaching him to read the energy patterns of the valley, to predict weather changes, and to understand the subtle rhythms of the planet. Their lives intertwined in harmony, each learning from the other. One evening, as Liam repaired the ship's weapon systems, Nira joined him. "I feel stronger now," she said. "We can defend ourselves if they return, and we can live here in peace while we prepare for the future." Liam smiled. Stronger together. That is what matters. The bond between them had grown deeper, no longer forged only by battle, but by trust, care, and shared purpose. They had faced unimaginable danger. Yet here they were, building a life in a quiet valley, preparing for a future that was theirs alone. And somewhere deep inside, Liam felt a growing sense of joy. Their child, the home they had built, and the life they shared was proof that even in the harshest galaxy, humans and their allies could create hope, beauty, and love. The valley, once a place of hiding, had become a home. And with it a new beginning, not just for Liam and Nira, but for the family they would become. As they watched the twin moons rise, Liam whispered, "No matter what comes next, we face it together, for us and for our child." Nira squeezed his hand, her golden eyes reflecting the moon's light. "Always together," she agreed. In the quiet of the valley, with stars above and life all around, they found what they had been searching for, not just survival, but hope, love, and the strength to face whatever the universe held next. The valley was quiet under the soft light of dawn. Liam stood outside their small home, watching the streams shimmer as the first rays of the twin suns touched the rocks. Nira sat nearby, her hand resting gently on her belly. In a few weeks, their child would arrive, a symbol of hope and life in a galaxy that had often been cruel and unforgiving. Liam's mind wandered as he looked at the horizon. The raiders were still out there somewhere, rebuilding their forces. But for now, the valley was theirs. They had survived impossible dangers, destroyed the enemy base, and found each other. Together they had built more than a safe place, they had built a future. "You are quiet this morning," Nira said softly, her golden eyes focused on him. "I'm thinking," Liam replied, "about the future, about our child, about how we live here safely." Nira smiled. "We will make it work. We have each other, and we know how to survive." "That is enough." Liam looked at her and nodded. "You are right. We have been through worse. We can handle this too." Days passed, each filled with preparation and quiet joy. Liam worked on the ship, ensuring it was ready in case of emergency. Nira gathered food and tended to the small garden they had created near their home. She used her knowledge of the planet's flora to grow plants that were nutritious and safe for her condition. They spent long hours talking, sharing stories, and planning the life they would give their child. Liam taught Nira human songs, simple melodies that she hummed softly while working. Nira shared stories of her people, their history, and their wisdom. Together they created a small world where learning and laughter mixed with safety and love. One afternoon, while Liam tested the ship's new stealth systems, Nira approached him with a small device in her hands. "This is a sensor," she said. "It will detect raiders far beyond the valley. We will know if they come before they reach us." Liam examined it carefully. "Good work. We are ready for anything." Nira smiled. "Yes, and we will protect our child no matter what." Weeks passed and the time drew near. Liam and Nira prepared the home for the birth, creating a safe and comfortable space. They worked together, their trust and understanding growing stronger with every task. Finally, the day arrived. Liam stayed by Nira's side, holding her hand as she gave birth in the quiet of their valley. The process was long and difficult, but with courage and determination, Nira delivered a healthy child. The baby had skin with a soft blue shimmer and eyes that reflected both human and alien heritage. Liam looked at the child, feeling a wave of emotion he had never experienced before. "We did it," he whispered. "We have a family," Nira smiled, exhausted but radiant. "Yes, a family of 3. We survived and now we have life." They named the child Kyle, a simple name that carried strength and hope. As Liam held Kale for the first time, he felt a new sense of purpose. Everything he had fought for, the missions, the battles, the danger had led to this moment. Protecting life, creating hope, and building a future were more important than any victory he had ever known. The days that followed were filled with care and learning. Liam and Nira took turns watching over Kale, teaching him to crawl, walk, and understand the world around him. Nira showed him the plants and animals of the valley, teaching him respect for life and nature. Liam showed him tools, simple machines, and how to think critically. Their child grew strong and curious, a perfect blend of their abilities and wisdom. Despite the peaceful life, Liam remained vigilant. He continued to monitor the skies and surrounding planets, knowing the raiders could return. But the presence of their child strengthened his resolve. He would fight if necessary, but he also knew that nurturing life was the greatest victory of all. One evening, Liam and Nira sat outside with Kyle sleeping peacefully between them. The twin moons rose, casting silver light across the valley. Liam held Nira's hand, feeling the warmth and trust between them. "We have a good life here," he said softly. "It is quiet, safe, and full of hope," Nira nodded. "Yes, and we will keep it that way. Together we can face anything." Suddenly a faint signal appeared on Liam's scanner, a small group of ships far away, moving slowly, not yet in attack formation. Liam frowned but did not panic. "Raiders," he said quietly. "They are still out there." "But we are ready." Nira looked at him calmly. "We will be ready, and we will protect Kale. That is all that matters." Liam nodded, feeling courage and confidence he had never known. They had survived worse than this. They had each other, and now they had a child, a reason to fight, to protect, and to hope. Over the following weeks, life in the valley continued. Liam trained Kale in small ways, teaching him to climb rocks, recognize dangers, and understand the value of courage. Nira taught him patience, empathy, and wisdom, showing him how to care for living creatures and the environment. Together they raised Kale in a balanced way, blending human determination with alien insight. One morning, Liam and Nira stood on a cliff overlooking the valley. Kale played below, chasing small creatures and laughing. Liam put his arm around Nira. feeling the deep connection that had grown between them. "We did not just survive," Liam said. "We created something new, a family. A home, hope." Nira smiled, leaning into him. "And it will grow. Kale will learn, explore, and carry forward what we have built. Our courage, our love, our lessons." Liam looked at the horizon, where distant planets glimmered in the light. "No matter what comes next, we are ready. Together we can face anything the universe sends our way." That night they watched the stars, the quiet of the valley surrounding them. Liam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Life had been harsh, full of danger and loss, but it had also given him purpose, connection, and love. Kale stirred in his sleep, small hands reaching out instinctively. Liam and Nira exchanged a glance, knowing that the future was uncertain but also full of promise. Their child was proof that hope could survive even in the darkest corners of the galaxy. The quiet of the valley was a small triumph in a vast universe. Liam knew the raiders could return, new dangers could emerge, and challenges would come. But they were no longer alone. They had each other, and they had Kale. They were a family, strong, united, and ready for whatever the universe might bring. Liam held Nira close as they watched Kale sleep, thinking about the journey that had brought them here. From a single rescue to destroying an entire enemy base, to building a home in a hidden valley. Their story had been one of courage, determination, and trust. "This is just the beginning," Liam whispered. "For us, for Kyle, and for everything we will face together." Nira rested her head on his shoulder. "Always together," she said softly. In the quiet of the hidden valley under the twin moons and the blanket of stars, Liam, Nira, and Kale began the rest of their lives. It was a life born from courage, sacrifice, and love. A life that proved even in a vast, dangerous galaxy, humanity's strength and heart could create hope, family, and a future worth protecting. And so, the family of three thrived. They faced challenges, celebrated victories, and nurtured life in a universe that often tested the limits of courage. Liam and Nira knew that no matter what threats came, together they could overcome them. And with Kale, their story would continue, a shining example of heroism, love, and hope that crossed the stars.